If you read my article last week or even saw the read on YouTube or Substack, I've spoken about how relationships are in transition. And there are 5 ways in which I'm going to approach this from a behavioral science lens. Starting with, it's the uh, way in which relationships today are far more momentary than they were in the past. We tended to look at relationships as something that you wanted to last over a period of time. Today, it is more in what it's giving you at that moment. This is really the present bias coming alive. You're more interested in what that moment is giving you and not the promise of tomorrow. And what sits well on top of this is the novelty bias. There's something new all the time. And the hedonic adaptation. What does that say? However happy you are, it is going to, somewhere get back to a, normal. And being able to shift between relationships is giving you that high repeatedly and therefore something that you choose to do. From there, we move to identity. The self-perception bias earlier was about who you thought you were and how you gravitated towards people who either mirrored that or at least understood it. Today, we are more fluid with who we are and we are willing to let our actions define our identity rather than the other way around. This leads to us being that much more explorative with who we are choosing to, join us on that path. We are willing to make those decisions, those observations, those explorations with new people as we step along. From there, we move to independence. Independence today is pushing us into the space of illusion of control, where we believe we don't need dependence, we don't need compromise to be able to get what we want. I've written about this in multiple articles, whether it's solo travel, whether it's following your passions on your own. You don't really see the need to have somebody along with you to make all of that happen. And the minute it starts feeling like a constraint in a relationship, reactance comes in. Why should I have to settle? Why should I have to compromise? When by myself, there is so much more I can do. Then we have technology. Technology really is making, you say you make first impressions. Today, those first impressions are made in microseconds, milliseconds. What's happening? You look at a picture and you decide. You look at a line and you decide. That is the halo effect. One angle, one aspect, one something just, catches you in. And then comes the gamification. I can swipe right, I can swipe left, I can, it's all becomes so much more of play rather than something that one needs to put so much of, something that's happening almost naturally. What was earlier defined by presence, by interaction, is today really governed by algorithms. And that brings us to the last part of this discussion, which is commitment. No, people haven't become commitment phobic. They've just decided to start choosing it rather than looking at it as an obligation. It's not about institutions, it's about what they want to do for themselves. And therefore, it's framed very differently from what I have to do or what I must do or what is expected to what I want to do. And that framing has changed the way one looks at it. Okay? I think that pretty much sums up what I wanted to talk about. Another very important aspect on this commitment of any of the points is loss aversion. What do I have to give up to be able to continue in this relationship? And what is easier? What am I able to retain in my life by not getting into that kind of relationship that probably earlier generations did? I would love to hear what you have to say. Obviously, coming from a generation from the past, my view might obviously have that angle to it. So, really happy to hear about how you all see relationships, especially with my audiences, which are much younger. It would be great to hear from you all on whether you see this, whether you've compared it to your older friends, siblings, parents, and whether you see that shift really happening. Follow me for more such insights from behavioral science and life in general.